first of all, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? For example, what's your name and what your PhD project is about?
Yes, my name is Orly Orbach, and I'm from the Anthropology Department, and my PhD project is called Visualizing Cultural Heritage, and it's about the supplementary school programs and how they are working with the Museum of London in partnership to kind of reconsider how cultural heritage is exhibited and experienced. I think that's a small summary that will do.
It's very interesting. Yeah. And I was wondering, what aspect did you enjoy from our workshop today? I can see that you've got like beautiful flower arrangements.
I loved it. I loved the conversations and the fact that it wasn't focused on my area necessarily, so it made me think much more broadly about issues to do with language, actually. So yes, I had a lot of things I was considering. I had a really interesting conversation with Les Bach.
Yeah.
The flower arrangement was very useful. That was done with another fellow student, and we had to find 3 words to describe our research between each other.
Yeah.
And he gave me 3 words. I didn't even know one of them was part of my research, which is underrepresentation. I kind of accidentally said it, and then we had to use a flower arrangement to explain how these words kind of feature in our research, I suppose. So I was thinking of like, I don't know if I should say this if it's going to go public, but how things are underrepresented, but like twisting the words, or how things are represented under. So perhaps who has the power to represent who, and that's kind of how that power might be slightly juggled. So yeah, just also like thinking about these words and how you can kind of turn them around to make them have extra meanings. But then I also spoke with Les Bach, and that was his flower arrangement, and I really shouldn't speak for other people. It's so interesting because with my background in art, I kind of find it fascinating to think of the limits of materiality and how you try to kind of use metaphors, but sometimes they help, sometimes they don't. And he wanted, I'm going to just say it anyway, although he's not here, I'm so sorry, Les. He wanted to talk about how concepts of growing and roots is not necessarily upwards, but can be sideways. So thinking about like roots growing sideways and kind of intertwining and affecting each other. But what I found really funny is these flowers have no roots, and it's quite poetic. So I found it really hard to kind of show what he meant. Yeah. But in a way that relates to my project of people who feel like they've been uprooted and the diasporic community in London. So it links together. So I found that useful. And there's many other flower metaphors we used in our short conversation. So
that's fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, do you find it useful to your own research?
Absolutely. It made me think first of all about texts and exhibiting and working with texts and how they are it's really possible to make them accessible in many different ways I didn't consider before. Working in a museum, you always think of text as the enemy of the visitor. You think of word limits, you think of like how to make it, not distract from images and objects. And of course, words can be used as such. So I'm slightly reconfiguring how I think of text, especially because one of my recent projects, I'm not speaking fully. One of my recent field trips was to a Portuguese-speaking school where they don't have any performance as part of the curriculum. And I thought that means I can't work with them. But looking at all the work done today, I realized how texts have a kind of, a life beyond the book, and there's a way of socializing texts and moving, beyond kind of academic formats. So I'm going to think a lot about that over my next couple of years of research.
Oh, I'm so happy you find it useful.
Yes.
It's been very nice talking to you.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.